Hey, what is up, mortals? Welcome to Season 1, Part 7 of What If Toga Was a Hero. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the story. The sports festival was today, spirits high and the crowd cheering. Toga sat in the locker room with butterflies in her stomach as she was nervous on how things were going to go. She sat down near Momo and Ochako as they were talking about how the sports festival might go. I know there might be a tournament in the end, but I'm sure we can sneak in some food. I hope there's still some left. I'm definitely going to need it by the time this day is over. Momo pouts as she was eating a protein bar to get her strength up. She noticed Himiko sat down next to them and smiled. Are you excited? I'm more nervous than excited. But hey, I'm gonna be on TV. Oh, that's right. Not only that, but we get chosen by a hero agency. Toga's stomach felt even more infested with butterflies and she hides herself. As Ida bursts into the room as usual and informs everyone that they'll be entering the arena soon. Crap, more pressure. It's gonna be okay, Hemi. Besides, it's mostly about having fun. She reassures her best friend as there is commotion happening in the background. Midoriya and Todoroki were speaking as the quiet Shoto declares war on him. Kirishima tried to enter the conversation by easing the tension with humor. Midoriya gave a speech to Todoroki, but really, it's to everyone in the room. He tells them to give it their all since all the other classes were hoping to beat them and get to the top. Himiko, now determined, she listened to the words coming from his mouth and felt pumped up and ready to take on anyone. The class of one step out into the field. Altogether, the crowd goes wild, cheering and raving. The announcers present, Mike and Aizawa, still in recovery, explain what goes on. Himiko's mother, sitting at home with Toga's father, cheer for Toga while he sits in boredom. Class 1B general classes C, D, and E, and support classes F, G, and H, and finally business classes J and K all set out in groups by the stage. For the student pledge, Bakugo stands on the stage looking carefree and mad as usual. There's never a genuine smile on his face. I just want to say that I'm gonna win. He left the stage as the students in Class 1 shouted, knowing he would say something like that, while the crowd of other students booed and hissed at him. The first game of the festival was an obstacle race. Himiko seemed to be the only one who smiled and cheered, thinking this section was going to be fun. The rest stared. The race was about to start and everyone had their game faces on each of the students in the other classes were going to be targeting Class 1. Toga didn't mind the competition, but she wanted to prove to her parents. She wanted to prove the world that she can be a hero no matter what it takes. The race started as everyone headed to the doorway. The hallway leading out to the exit of the doorway was crammed with multiple students, but Toga squeezed her way to the shoulders of her classmate. She jumped on everyone to get by. Reaching the first couple of students, she jumped in the air. But as soon as she did, Todoroki froze the floor and made it difficult for those on the ground to walk. Some were even stuck. She landed on the ice, hitting her butt on the cold floor as she witnessed her classmates from one miraculously getting ahead. She walked over to the wall carefully and climbed up to the top of the wall and started to run quickly like a ninja. Robots appeared out of nowhere to stop them, smacking students away from first place. She saw the giant 0-point robots from her entrance exams. It seems we meet again, Zeros. Toga, who are you talking to? Do you not see the robots in front of us? Momo just disregarded what she witnessed and let her hand cover her face. She saw how huge they were and questioned rhetorically, where does the school get the funding for these? I dunno, but we gotta get through. As they were conversing, Shoto took care of the robots, but they were falling. She leapt into the air and climbed on the robots and flipped to each one, evading the debris. She saw more and more of them, but she could easily slip by. Her mother and father were watching while her father raised an eyebrow as she flipped and evaded each robot. Hush, she's really agile. Doesn't she usually stay in her room to play video games? If you took the time to talk to our daughter, you would know that she trains nearly every day to get faster and stronger. Interesting. Embarrassed, he laid back on the sofa. As she was slipping by and running towards the next obstacle, she heard loud booming and turned her head to witness Bakugo blasting his way through. She picked up the pace by sprinting. Oh crap, he's gaining on me. Who the hell told you that you can outrun me? You annoying little shit. I'm gonna beat you, Bakugo. I don't want to hear it. She kept running, but Bakugo propelled himself to pass her and she felt quite idiotic to say such a thing. But she won't stop trying. Before she knew it, she entered the next obstacle, stopping before she fell into the caverns. She then saw Ochako and Froppy and Mina behind her, but she couldn't stop to chat. She used her agility and speed to literally run on the tight ropes over the caverns. She also witnessed Bakugo and Todoroki in front of her. Thinking of a way to slow him down, she had a couple of ideas, but most of them would end in her death. Screw it, what's the worst that could happen, she thought. Mid-section, before we get back into the story, I would like to say that we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes over the hard facts of the anime presented. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we have a third channel called We The Celestial Naruto What If. We The Celestial Naruto What If mainly focuses on our Naruto What If series. If you are interested in content like this, please go check the description below or click the eye icon in the top right corner. Now, with that out of the way, let's get back into the story. Wow, you're slower than the popsicle stick. Damn, Bakugo, you suck. He tilted his head trying not to get distracted, but she kept running on the tight ropes mocking him. Even if you beat me, I'm sure I can whoop your sorry ass easily. Shut up. You're not doing anything. Says you, it looks like you're getting easily distracted, catch on. You bitch, he screamed and used his explosions to go away from Shoto and zoom to Toga. She really did it this time. If she can maneuver over him, she can get ahead by a long mile. He reached out his hand close to her face and fired an explosion, but before he could, she grabbed his arm with her left hand and grabbed his shoulder with her right. Using the bungee mechanics of the tight rope, she flipped over and landed her feet on his shoulders and kicked her feet to jump forward while he blew up rock formation attached to the tightrope wires. She felt the impact of the explosion and used that to propel herself to the other side. All you could hear was screaming and cursing, but giant explosions could be heard and seen. She started to sweat intensely and run using all her speed. Crab, 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 crab. She continuously said the word while feeling Bakugo's overwhelming presence grow nearer and nearer. Todoroki was by the minefield, but he turned around to see Toga running away from Bakugo in full speed. He was surely in awe, but saw this as a threat to his position. Was this your plan all along, Toga? Stop asking questions, just run. You two are dead. Todoroki realized if he used an ice bath that it would give the rest of the participants an advantage, but he also saw a raging teenager with bombs coming out of his hands chasing a girl faster than the average human and decided to just wing it. The three were on the minefield and Bakugo throws his right hand and created a projectile explosion to impact the ground in front of Himiko, creating a bigger explosion along with a purple cloud. Toga was in the air screaming and witnessed Bakugo charge after Shoto. She then hit the ground and carefully bolted towards the two in the minefield, running behind Todoroki's ice trail. But as soon as they were in the lead, an even louder explosion could be heard behind them. It was Midoriya using one of the robot's parts to rocket across the sky. Look at how hot he is, she screamed while standing in place, but realized she was going to be left behind if she kept doting on him. She slapped herself, creating a red mark on her face. Get it together, Hemi. She ran after the three, realizing she's in fourth place. The girl witnessed her future husband propel himself to first place by smashing the ground with that same metal piece. She was placed in fourth due to her thinking and speed. Her parents were shocked, but Himiko's mother was cheering and laughing, knowing her baby girl could advance to the next portion of the festival. Her father smiled but hid it from his wife. He caught himself and continued to act bored out of his mind. She leapt in the air in excitement because of her won, and she ran over to Deku to try and give him a big hug. She saw Bakugo bolt in front of her and she fell back in surprise. Oh hey Bakugo, don't you ever call me by that name. Won't happen again, boss, she said with a smirk on her face, mocking him. Ochako ran towards Himiko and hugged her. The two embraced and smiled at each other warmly but danced excitingly. Ochako, we did it, look at us. I know, I'm freaking out. As soon as they were done conversing, Midnight came on the mic to congratulate the participants, but brought forward a new challenge, one that would have to divide everyone into groups to try and get the bandana with the most points. That person was Deku. She knew she wanted to be around Midoriya and help him succeed, but she had her own goals and priorities. The one person she could see herself aligning with was maybe Todoroki, but then again, if she was with Bakugo, his will alone help win the match. She walked over to him and joined his team. No way. Come on, I'm faster and I can basically grab enough headbands if I wanted to. I said no way. The two were arguing on who should be the team leader, while Bakugo, like in the anime, could fare far better with his quirk. Toga can easily be the lightest and grab more headbands with her CQC training. The two settled with Bakugo on top while she replaced Mina. The match was similar to how it was in the anime, except when Monoma was reacting to Bakugo's declaration of war, Toga and Bakugo decided on a plan on how to grab the headbands back. If he were to get the headband, Monoma would easily copy his quirk and use it on him, but Toga would gain the advantage as there's no tactical advantage to use her quirk. Bakugo used his explosions to reach airtime and get high enough to see the playing field. Toga then was thrown to the air by Zero using his tape. The two collided by Bakugo grabbing Toga's hand and using his other hand to fire an explosion to spin the two and throw Himiko at Monoma's team. She was quiet but fast. She wrapped her legs around his torso and grabbed the headbands off his head. Zero then latched onto her waist and whipped her back while she flipped Monoma off and laughing. Yeah, that's what teamwork can get ya. Good job, idiot. For a second there I thought you were useless. Damn Toga, you really pulled through here, Kirishima said as he was celebrating with the group. Seconds left and it was the same outcome as the anime. They ended up in second place while Bakugo was screaming because he didn't get first place. Himiko's parents were astonished by the display of teamwork that was put on the screen before them. Their daughter did that. She really has come a long way. Even her father stood up in disbelief. There was some downtime before the next event starts. Himiko took a deep breath and felt proud of herself. She really did some a long way. Not only that, but even Bakugo praised her. Out of everyone, that was the most shocking. She grabbed some lunch with her classmates and even snuck off to go get some dumplings from the concession stands and food trucks. They were ultimately divine. She even took part in the recreational games. The board lit up with who was fighting who in the last competition, and Toga saw she was fighting Yama. Her fist clenched and she was ready to beat her classmate to reach the top. As soon as everyone was ready to get on the stage to fight, Toga met eye to eye with Aoyama, and her face put on this serious look of death. She wasn't taking any prisoners, and this should be a piece of cake. This was her time to finally reach the top and prove to everyone that she can indeed become a hero.